All right, so you're getting ready for this big interview to become a wood painter.
Yeah.
You're probably feeling a little nervous, which is totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive into some resources that can help you nail those tricky questions and really figure out what this whole career path is all about.
Right.
We've got some great stuff from RoleCatcher, like their career guide and an interview guide, and even some info on how their AI can give you a real advantage.
Cool.
So let's unpack this. What exactly is a wood painter? I mean, it's got to be more than just slapping paint on wood, right?
Right, absolutely. It's like turning everyday objects into art,
Oh, but yeah.
Using wood as your canvas. You could be working on anything from furniture to figurines, even toys, signs, all sorts of things.
So it's where art meets practicality, right?
Exactly.
You need the creativity, but also the know-how about different wood types and how paint reacts to them and which finishes will last.
Yeah, it's a real craft. It blends creativity with, technical skills.
So you're not just an artist, you're a bit of a wood whisperer, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get down to business, the interview itself. The RoleCatcher Interview Guide gives us 10 pretty common questions. I think it'll be super helpful to walk through them for anyone getting ready for this kind of interview.
Great.
Okay, question number 1. Can you explain your experience with wood painting?
Okay, so with this one, you really want to show off any relevant experience, even if you haven't had a formal wood painter title.
Oh, I see.
Like, have you ever refinished any furniture?
Okay,
Maybe volunteered to paint sets for a play or something?
makes sense.
It all adds up. What they're really looking for here is like proof that you've got the skills and the passion for working with wood and paint.
Right, so instead of just saying, I painted some chairs,
Yeah,
you'd go a bit deeper, right?
exactly. Talk about the types of wood you've worked with, the problems you ran into, the techniques you used, what you learned from each project.
So they might even ask, like, tell me about a time you had to figure something out during a wood painting project.
Oh, for sure.
So have those stories ready to share.
Yeah.
Show them you can think on your feet. And I think this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
It can.
It can look at specific job descriptions and help you tailor your answers to match exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
It's like having a little AI coach whispering, hey, they really care about attention to detail here. Make sure you highlight that.
Exactly, yeah. And you can practice your answers and get personalized feedback.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to question number 2. How do you ensure the quality of your work? This one feels a bit more like serious,
Right, it does, yeah.
like they're testing how committed you are to excellence.
Yeah, but it's also a good chance to show off how meticulous and process-driven you are.
Okay.
So think about how you prep the wood, how you apply the paint,
Hmm.
how you get that smooth finish.
Do you have a certain way of inspecting your work?
Ex-
Maybe specific tools or techniques you always rely on?
Yeah, so if you have a go-to sanding technique for a flawless finish, this is the time to mention it.
Okay, perfect.
And be ready for those follow-up questions like, what steps do you take to ensure a consistent finish?
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you spot and fix imperfections?
So that's where you show off your expertise and your eye for detail.
Exactly.
And I could even see this leading to a conversation about, like, different wood types and how they need different approaches,
Right.
which is where the knowledge from the career guide comes in handy.
Absolutely.
It gives a good overview of different wood types and their quirks. Like, you could talk about how pine needs a different primer than oak. Right?
Exactly. Understanding these little things can really impress the interviewer.
All right, moving on to question number 3. How do you handle difficult or challenging wood painting projects? This feels like they want to see how you deal with pressure.
Definitely. So think about a time you had a unique challenge. Maybe the wood was super textured or the design was really intricate.
Okay.
How did you tackle the problem?
What did you do to overcome it?
Yeah, they might even throw in something like, tell me about a time you disagreed with a client about a design.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They want to know if you can handle those tough situations gracefully and professionally.
So it's not just about being a good painter, but also a good communicator
Yeah, exactly.
and a team player.
And don't be afraid to talk about what you learned from those challenging projects.
Oh, good.
It shows you're always trying to improve.
Okay, question number 4. What's your knowledge of wood types and how paint reacts to them? This is where those wood whisperer skills come in.
It is. They want to see if you've done your homework. Can you tell the difference between hardwoods and softwoods?
Okay.
Do you get how the wood grain affects how paint goes on?
And the career guide dives into this a bit, right?
It does.
It talks about how different woods absorb paint differently and how they expand and contract with temperature changes.
Yeah.
All those things that affect the final finish.
It's the science behind it.
That's fascinating. What kind of follow-up questions could come from this one?
They might ask about specific wood types, like how would you prep a pine surface compared to oak?
Okay.
Or what paint would you use for cedar furniture?
Good point.
So make sure you brush up on your wood knowledge beforehand.
All right, I'm already feeling more prepared just talking about this.
Okay.
Okay, question number 5. How do you stay up to date with new techniques and trends in wood painting?
All right, so here's where you get to show off your passion for what you do. Talk about your go-to resources, like blogs, YouTube channels,
Okay.
maybe online courses, workshops, even social media groups. Do you try out new tools and materials?
Are there any particular artists or styles that inspire you?
Exactly. They're looking for someone who's eager to learn, not someone who's stuck in their ways. They might ask, what's a new technique you learned recently, and how has it changed your work?
That's a good one.
It lets you show off your curiosity and how you adapt.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher can help you stay on top of industry trends too, right?
It can. Their stuff is always updated with the latest information.
So you can show up as a knowledgeable and forward-thinking candidate.
Exactly. Welcome back.
All right, ready for more?
Okay, let's dive into some questions that really get into how you work with other people.
Oh.
Clients, teams, all that.
Yeah, these always feel a bit trickier to me.
So question number 6. Can you describe your approach to working with clients or customers? This one's all about communication and collaboration.
Right, makes sense.
You're not just painting in a vacuum, right?
Yeah, you're bringing someone else's idea to life.
Exactly. So think about how you interact with clients. Do you really listen to what they're saying?
Yeah.
Do you ask questions to make sure you're on the same page? And how do you balance their vision with, your own artistic expertise?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. They might ask you to describe a specific situation where you had to navigate different opinions or manage expectations.
Oh, yeah.
So have those examples ready.
Showing you can build relationships and deliver even when things get a little complicated.
Exactly. It's not just about being a talented painter, but also a skilled communicator.
And a collaborator.
Okay, question number 7 takes us into problem-solving territory. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot an issue with a wood painting project?
I'm sensing a theme here.
Right. Every project has its hiccups, and they want to know how you roll with the punches.
So problem solving is a wood painter's superpower.
It really is. Think back to a specific time when something went wrong. Maybe the paint reacted weirdly, or there was a hidden flaw in the wood.
Oh, I can imagine.
Or maybe the client changed their mind about the color halfway through.
Oh, no.
Be ready to describe what happened, how you figured out the cause, the steps you took to fix it, and what you learned.
Okay, so it's about showing them you're resourceful, adaptable, and that you learn from your mistakes.
Honesty and specifics are key here. Don't try to sugarcoat it or pretend you've never messed up.
Good advice.
Focus on what you learned and how you've grown.
Oh, and speaking of growth, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your responses and give you feedback, right?
It can, yeah.
Like a virtual mentor.
Helping you make your answers even stronger.
That's cool. Okay, on to question number 8. Can you describe your experience with mixing and matching wood stains and paints? This one sounds a bit more like fun.
It is. This is about showcasing your artistry and your color knowledge.
Oh.
Do you understand the color wheel?
Mm-hmm.
Can you create custom shades to match a client's vision?
Right.
They might ask you about a project where you had to create a custom finish.
Got it.
Or match a specific color scheme.
So be ready with those examples.
Showing your eye for detail and how you work with different colors and materials.
It's that blend of creativity and know-how again.
Speaking of know-how, the RoleCatcher Career Guide has a section on stains and paints.
It does.
It talks about the different types, their properties, how to achieve different effects.
Good reminder to brush up on that before the interview.
Definitely. And it might give you some ideas to mention in your answer, showing you understand different techniques.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, question number 9. How do you prioritize and manage your workload? This feels like a classic one, but especially important for wood painters who often have multiple projects going on.
Yeah, they want to see if you can stay organized, focused, and get things done, especially when deadlines are tight.
Do you use a to-do list, an app, or just a calendar?
Whatever your system is, be ready to explain it.
Okay.
They might ask about how you stay on track, how you handle competing priorities, maybe even how you delegate.
If that's relevant.
Right, it's all about showing those organizational skills.
And the ability to juggle multiple things.
Okay, last question from the RoleCatcher Guide. How do you manage a team of wood painters? Now, this one might not apply to every job.
Yeah, especially if you're working solo or in a small studio.
But if you're aiming for a leadership role, this is where you shine.
Okay.
They want to know if you can lead, motivate, and inspire a team of artists.
Who all have their own styles and personality.
Exactly. Think about times when you've mentored someone, led a group, coordinated a team effort.
Good point.
They might ask about your leadership style, how you delegate, how you give feedback.
So even if you haven't formally managed a team.
Think about any experiences where you've taken charge, even in a small way.
Okay, good to keep in mind.
Leadership comes in many forms.
So we've covered a lot here.
We have.
These questions can be tough, but I feel a lot more prepared just talking through them.
Me too. And don't forget the RoleCatcher Career Guide has even more insights.
Oh, right.
About the wood painting profession, different career paths, tips for learning and growing.
It's a great resource.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up this part, I want to touch on something we haven't really talked about.
Okay.
We focused a lot on the technical stuff. But what about the artistic side?
Oh, yeah.
How do you show that passion, that unique creative vision in an interview?
That's such a great point. It's not just about checking boxes. It's about conveying that enthusiasm, what makes your work special. It's about showing them who you are as an artist.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so how do you do that in an interview, right?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, one thing you can do is bring a portfolio of your work.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Even if it's just pictures on your phone, it gives them a visual sense of your style and skill level.
Okay.
And when you talk about your work, don't just list the steps you took.
Right.
Talk about the choices you made, the inspiration behind them, what you were hoping to achieve.
Oh, so like I chose this particular shade of blue because it reminded me of the ocean on a stormy day.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
those little details that make your work unique and memorable.
So it's about storytelling too.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to show your personality, your passion.
Okay.
I mean, that's what makes you stand out from the crowd.
And I think that's a good segue into talking about RoleCatcher's AI again.
Oh, yeah.
Because it can actually help you bring out those unique qualities in your application.
Exactly. Like, imagine you found this perfect job posting,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not quite sure how to tailor your resume and cover letter to really grab their attention.
Right, so you'd upload the job description to RoleCatcher.
And the AI analyzes it.
Okay.
It figures out the key skills, key words, even the company culture.
So it's not just about using the right art terms.
Yeah.
It's about speaking their language.
Exactly. And then it helps you write a resume and cover letter that highlight your best stuff.
Wow, that's amazing.
Using language that will resonate with that specific employer.
But what about the interview itself?
Okay.
I always get nervous about, like, sounding too rehearsed or forgetting what I wanted to say.
Oh, I get that.
Does RoleCatcher help with that?
They have a video practice feature with AI analysis.
Seriously.
You record yourself answering common interview questions. Then the AI looks at how you deliver your answers, your tone, your body language, everything.
That's so cool. It's like a virtual mock interview
Exactly.
with an expert giving you personalized feedback.
Precisely. It can tell you if you're speaking too fast, if you need to make more eye contact,
Oh, wow.
all sorts of helpful tips.
And remember, RoleCatcher is free.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really nothing to lose by trying it out.
Nope. It's like having a whole team of career coaches in your pocket.
Speaking of career coaching,
Yeah.
I think it's time to go back to the career guide and talk about those pros and cons we mentioned earlier.
Oh, right.
It's important to be realistic about what this career entails.
Definitely.
Let's start with the good stuff.
Okay.
What draws people to wood painting?
Well, it's creative, for one.
Yeah?
You get to work with your hands, make beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real sense of accomplishment when you turn a piece of raw wood into something special.
And you can be your own boss.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of wood painters start their own businesses.
That's cool.
They set their own hours, choose their own projects.
And there's always something new to learn.
Yeah, it's a field that keeps you on your toes.
Sounds pretty great, but what about the challenges?
Well, it can be physically demanding.
Oh, right.
Lots of standing, bending, lifting. It
Yeah.
can be tough on your body.
And there's exposure to dust and fumes, right?
Yeah. So safety is super important.
Definitely.
And depending on the type of work you do, there might be slow periods.
So it's important to go in with your eyes open
Absolutely.
to both the good and the bad.
I think that's a key takeaway from this whole deep dive.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting the job, it's about finding the right job for you.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What kind of mark do you want to leave on the world through your art?
What stories do you want to tell?
What beauty do you want to create?
Let those questions guide you as you go on this journey.
Remember, you're not just a wood painter,
You're an artist,
a craftsperson.
a storyteller.
And with the right prep and a passion for what you do, you can build a career that's both fulfilling and successful.
Absolutely.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
They've got the resources and tools to help you every step of the way.
From writing a killer resume to practicing your interview skills.
We hope this deep dive has been helpful.
And we wish you the best of luck in your job search.
Go out there and paint your
Your
few.
vibrant colors